The Honorable Mr. Mahfud Junaedi as the lecturer of Islamic Educational Philosophy, and to all of my beloved friends. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, thanks to Allah, the Lord of the world, the King of the King, who has given us the mercies and blessing. Secondly, my salawat and salam to our Prophet Muhammad SAW, who has brought us from the darkness to the lightness, from Jahiliyah into Islamiyah era. My name is Iga Putri Wahyu Ningsih, and I'm from English Language Teaching Department. I'm in the third year, and now I will deliver a speech about boarding school, or usually we call pesantren. At first, I had no intention of entering a boarding school, not even my parents have any request for it, but it started with me, who used to be naughty, in the sense that I've been through something that I feel like this is wrong. From there, I was still in the third year of junior high school, and suddenly I didn't know where the idea was that if I continue this matter, I would sink deeper. And of course, I would not want that to happen. There came a time when my random thought came, I must take a different step. Yes, I must enter the boarding school, I thought. At the time, I was very ambitious to get into one of the favorite senior high school in my city, but I don't know the willingness from which I suddenly decided to enter the boarding school only, because at the time I was also confused. What's wrong with me, with my mind? I don't know, but in the end, it is not something I regretted. When I first brought this up with my parents, initially they disagree, because they thought I was the one who was never far from my parents, couldn't live in heritage, because it was a coincidence that I asked for a boarding school away from home. My parents thought I was too young to let go of heritage, but I negotiated with them, and yes, after a little debate, they allowed me to go to boarding school. And even though my parents didn't approve of my ideas at first, they ultimately support what I had decided. I'm very grateful for that, for I have parents who truly believe in what I have chosen. Even until now, it's still like that. I love them truly. For years, I spent in the boarding school, and I certainly had a lot of experience I would not have had if I wasn't in boarding school. And because I went into the boarding school at senior high school, then I had to take the language class of 1 year later, because the boarding school is the language boarding school, and for 1 year I learned the language, and it's English in Arabic language, and it aims to me to compensate other friends who come in boarding school of the junior high school. It wasn't until after a year of focusing on language that I was able to learn normal first years in senior high school. Certainly, learning experience that were different from what I had received earlier in public school must have generated a shock in me. Not only learning patterns, even from small things like everyday habits that I do are clearly different. Because as we know, living in a new environment clearly requires adaptation, and it's all natural. Especially, I'm not playing alone at that time. I was with two of my friends from junior high school, and that helped me adapt better in boarding school. And life in boarding school, as we know, far from gadget, isolated from the outside world, and it was a bit heavy for me initially, because it was the first time for me, and I guess it was very reasonable. The activities of boarding school are from teaching to the organization, I feel, and it is one of very meaningful things, because I know the experience like it will not be able to repeat outside there. Their principle that tries to live in the boarding school formulated by Mas Tuhu as follow. The first is wisdom. The ultimate goal of pesantren education is to seek wisdom based on Islamic teaching in order to enhance the understanding of life meaning and the realization. The second is quiet freedom. Learning and teaching are natural activities done in the context of devotion to God. The task of education is to develop cognitive and psychomotoric skills in appropriate and harmonious way. Next is self-government. Santri take care of themselves within the bound of Islamic teaching as it is taught. The next is collectivism. In the pesantren obligation is emphasized. The next is the realization between santri or teachers or parents and community. The next is attitude toward knowledge. Santri consider knowledge to be scared, which suggests a confusion of belief and thought, logic and aesthetic. In the santri view, the successful of acquisition of knowledge or methodology. The next is self-reliance. So, the next is modesty. In the pesantren view is the observe of proper behavior in food, dress, speech, and the like. 9 is sorgan, individualist instruction and evaluation of academic achievement. So, the last is devotion. This is the core of pesantren principle. Religious education is certainly needed today because if it were a draw between knowledge and religion, then everything would be easier. For 4 years in the boarding school, there are many things I get, as many people say, if in the boarding school, world can be afterlife can also. I feel it too. And it is one of the things and will be one of the very valuable experience. And to get things more certainly not only with entering the boarding school, because we can get good things wherever it is without exception, because the key is we should be able to filter out good and bad, and when we have realized that is bad as much as possible to avoid and start to find things and good positive that can take us to good things too. Okay, maybe that's all from my speech. I hope little speech that I said give little motivation also. So, if I have some mistake, I hope you all to pardon me. And last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terbawalah langkahku ke sana, mantra apa entah yang istimewa, ku percaya selalu ada sesuatu di jauh.